So let's begin then with the basic brain. Now you have in your hands a handout, a bio that were copied for you by Hospice Care to take with you. Feel free to take notes as we go through the material, but I'm also happy to announce that you all have a special, unique, three-dimensional model of the brain, which is being provided to you to take with you after the program and use for the rest of your life. So if you all would reach under your seats and pull up your brain model. Your hand. I got a couple of you to do it. Good, good. What I'm going to do is teach you about brain anatomy using your hand, okay? So if you will, bear with me and think about your hand as your brain. It's actually a little bit smaller, but if you will, and allow me to explain that the brain is the central portion of your entire nervous system, right? So all the nerves in your entire system, your eyes, your ears, your entire body, pull up together through the brain stem and into the base of the brain. If you consider that your wrist and the palm of your hand, that's the sensory portion of the brain. Now, the sensory portion of the brain is working all the time in all mammals. It's a very ancient part of the brain, and it is very good at detecting change in the environment. It's not watching for the routine, robust kinds of things that you see every day. When it sees something interesting, it piques up its interest. That's the sensory part. And the reason is, of course, to keep you alive. You want to be able to see that tiger coming out of the bush, right? Now, if you will, fold your thumb over this base part of the brain. The second part is the emotional centers of the brain, what we call the limbic system. And this emotional center, represented by your thumb, is the area that takes those sensing, whatever it is you see or hear, and it gives it an emotion. Is this something that's going to be rewarding, or is this threatening and causing fear in me? And that emotional response, very fast, everything you sense goes there first, before you have a chance to think about it. The third area comes from folding your fingers over that emotional center, wrapping around it, and creating the cortex, that sort of wrinkly, walnut-looking area of the brain that crosses over your amygdala and all of your emotional centers. That cortex is what differentiates most mammals from human beings. This is the prefrontal cortex. It's the newest part of the brain, and it has been developing in man, essentially, since the earliest humanoids have been discovered. That prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain that's changing the most. It's actually grown 6 times in size from the earliest days of man, and probably continues to grow. Did you know that IQ levels are increasing all the time? We are improving our IQ by over 20 points from the last generation and the generation before that. Now, different elements of intelligence are the ones that are changing, but this prefrontal cortex is not a fixed item. It literally improves and grows as we evolve as human beings and change our culture. So there's your brain model. You get to